Hi everyone, Vegas Film Critic here, Jeffrey K. Howard, here to review the thriller 47 Meters Down, starring Mandy Moore, Claire Holt, and the great Matthew Modine. Now, I'm doing this review, it's a little late, but I'm doing this review because I wanted it to be coinciding with Jaws, coming out exactly 42 years ago today, June 20th, 1975, and today's June 20th. Because people were saying this is the scariest movie since Jaws. Just because it has great white sharks in it, of course you're going to compare it to Jaws. But it's nowhere near as scary or as classic or as monumentally entertaining as Jaws. My favorite movie of all time. Check this out. I also got the poster here they gave out. It's really cool. It's two-sided. You scared yet? So we have two sisters who are in Mexico who are trying to escape some problems. You know, Mandy Moore is going through a bad breakup, and her little sister is this adventurer. So they go out on this adventure. They meet these guys out one night drinking, and they're going to go down in this shark cage where they're going to be with great white sharks. You know, I've heard about this before. It sounds pretty cool. I would try it. But of course, they lie about being divers. So they get out of this boat, captained by the great Matthew Modine, and they go into the water. They're only a little bit, a couple feet down, and the sharks are coming around. But of course, something goes wrong with the winch. It falls 47 meters, and now they're on the ocean floor, and the movie starts with the panic, with the terror, with the anxiety. Now, I thought I was going into a movie that was going to be all green screen, and I thought, wow, this is going to be real cheesy. We're going to have really these real corny kind of great white shark stuff. But I'm amazed at the technical aspects of this movie. This movie was shot underwater. I think they shot it in Spain or somewhere overseas, and obviously underwater. But it was really cool how they did this. They have their masks on. You can hear the dialogue coming through. So when you're at the bottom of a tank or the ocean, whatever they shot this in, the suspension of disbelief, I felt the anxiety because, you felt like you were down that far. And there's a lot more to this movie than just the shark showing up and bumping the cage and, taking a bite out of, one of the sisters. There's also the anxiety of their air running out because they have to figure out they can't reach the surface because they're so far down. So if they leave the cage, they have to They have to swim up so far to get their microphones working because they can communicate with the ship. And also just the vast ocean, you can't see in front of you. So if they go off one direction, the cliff just dives off into nothing. I mean, you just see nothing. You can't remember your bearings, where you're going. I don't know if you ever dived before, but I was a diver when I was younger. And, there's a lot of things that can go wrong and a lot of training that goes into diving. You just don't put a tank on and get in the water. Because, first of all, you don't know which way is up. You always watch the bubbles and all that. You have to be careful of the bends. That's one thing that the girls had to learn the hard way. They just can't leave the cage and go straight up because they would die. They would get nitrogen bubbles in their bloodstream. So there's all these little factors going on to make this kind of a really good, decent thriller. It's not the greatest gift, to thrillers, but you know what? It's worth its entertainment value. And of course, the great white sharks, they look pretty cool. And of course, they're out there looking for blood, There's all these kind of cheesy things going on. Also, I love the aspect of them, getting that, what is it called, sarcosis? When they have the nitrogen in their system and they start hallucinating. So there's all kinds of things going on in different stages of this movie while they're trapped down in this cage. Because you think to yourself, the writers have really written themselves in the corner, being at the bottom of this cage, there's only so much you can do. But they pull it off. Really cool background on this movie. It's from Entertainment Studios, which is comedian slash producer slash film critic Byron Allen, who's a cool guy. I know him. We're not buddies, but I know of him the last 10, 15 years. And he does what I do. His company goes out and interviews stars and does behind the scenes. And I guess this movie was released by the Weinstein brothers, Harvey Weinstein. They put it on DVD, but the Entertainment Studios bought the rights to it, pulled it off the shelf, renamed it, and put it in theaters, which I thought was a brilliant marketing move because now it's going to have a nationwide release. It'll do more business on demand and also on DVD when it comes out in a few months. So overall, I thought it was a great little thriller. I was really surprised at the technical aspects of it. I felt the anxiety. If someone who has asthma who can't dive anymore, I was like gasping for breath down there. So I thought it was pretty decent. One thing I was kind of disappointed was Matthew Modine. He is such a great actor. I haven't seen him in a long time. He's been regulated to being the captain. He only has literally like a cameo role. I wish they would show more what was going on the surface, but we don't. We see everything going on underneath the water. So if you want to see a cute thriller, I don't know if the word's cute. Why did I say cute? If you want to see a decent thriller and take a date where you're going to have lots of jumps and some cool scares, and also the girls have their whole backstory going on, 47 Meters Down is a pretty good thriller, so make sure you check it out. All right, for more reviews and interviews, surf on over to my website at vegasfilmcritic.com. Also, check me out on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those things. Also, if you like my shirts, go over to daddios.com where you can get 20% off if you put in Vegas Film. Also, if you like what you see here, you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, comment below, thumbs up, and share. I'm Jeffrey K. Howard. Living in Las Vegas where it's 115 degrees and watching this movie underwater sure felt cool to me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.